For all who dare to dream, for all who dare to leave. Introduction. This book has been 8 years in the making and has gone through several evolutions as I traveled through the Caribbean and Latin America, living in Ecuador, Panama, Grenada, Colombia, and finally Mexico. In my travels, one of the first things that struck me was the deafening silence around the topic of the mental health of the traveler. I sometimes reflect that travel, or purposeful relocation, for many, seems to be a path of temporary physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual escape. For those nomads, hidden behind an outward mask of discovery and excitement is uncertainty, fear, even anguish. Some are looking to fill a void, while others seem to be looking for answers to questions they don't realize they have been asking. I remember our first escape. My husband had become increasingly annoyed at the streaks in the sky. He would look up and nostalgically remember the clear skies of his childhood while muttering about chemtrails in the next breath. This agitation led to a chance story that mentioned the then president of Ecuador would not allow chemtrails in his country. Next thing I knew, we were on a plane headed to Quito. I can confirm that we did not see the same streaks we had been seeing in North Carolina. Whether it had to do with altitude or some other factor, I cannot say. All I can say is he was at peace. And so was I. For 3 glorious months, I didn't have to think about the small monthly bills I had in North Carolina. Once we landed in Quito, we stayed at a place we found on Craigslist, and when we moved to Cuenca, we stayed at Los Balcones. Los Balcones changed my life. They took care of us, picked up our laundry, and brought it back folded beautifully. Breakfast was served on the rooftop, and in the evening, they would have live bands downstairs. They would call taxi service for us, set up our tours, and offer cleaning service twice a week. I spent time with my kids talking about new experiences and making plans instead of talking about homework and chores. My daughter and I rode the Teleférico, a cable car system in Quito, and sang "We Are the World" as we went from the city at about 2,150 meters or 9,678 feet up to the Cruz Loma lookout on the Pichincha volcano at around 4,000 meters, 13,123 feet. While others were probably taking in the breathtaking views, I was thinking about the breathtaking drop. My only solace was that my daughter and I would go together. My son and daughter rode on their first go-kart track together in Quito. By the time they were done, my daughter crashed 3 times and my son cautiously navigated the track with no accidents. Even though my son is 5 years younger than his sister, I was confident that he would get his license before she would. The travel bug hit me hard. I felt like I was a better person, a better wife, and a better mother. Emotionally, I was flying high, excited to get up every day to see what surprises the day would bring. I let go of the minutia of the day-to-day and embraced the unknown. Every day brought a new discovery, a new memory, and what felt like a glimpse into another life. When we returned home after our 3-month hiatus, I went through a brief period of depression. The weight of the world seemed to come crashing down on me. Planning and dreaming about the next adventure kept me from falling into the abyss. That first trip would turn into a 13-year journey that would eventually find us living as residents of Mexico. As we journeyed from country to country, spending 6 months at a time, I started to observe myself and my relationships. In my birth country, I was living the programming of the culture. Who I was really did not matter. I felt compelled to live according to the general perceptions and expectations of that society. In my adopted countries, I was an unknown. People asked me about me, they didn't assume. I had to tell them my story. I was free to explore anything and everything I had ever thought about: painting, rock climbing, singing, modeling, podcasting, and writing. Nothing was off limits. We decided to move permanently when I decided that I liked the limitless version of me, much more than the conformist. Sometimes I wonder if I had made the choice to be this person in my birth country, would I feel like I do now? I believed that the journey was necessary in order for me to become. But is that true? I will never know. That is the question I explore in this story. Every journey, whether internal or across landscapes, is a conversation between who we are and who we might become. What is on the other side of the wall? Is it freedom, understanding, or just another barrier? Do we have to escape to find out? In my travels, I met and developed relationships with women of different generations and found it fascinating how the different generations approach their life of travel and relocation. In this book, I wanted to give a voice to the three generations, particularly una persona de tercera edad, a common term in Mexico that literally means a person in their third stage of life, the third act. I have grown to appreciate the respect and reverence given to our wise ones in Mexico and Latin America in general. While some see only the wrinkles and colors of gray of our seasoned sisters, their true colors are in their experiences, their stories. These true colors are what I wanted to explore. Stories tend to focus on the thoughts and dreams of the young, and in recent years, there have been some who delve into the mind of the middle age. Very few give voice to our elders, those who have their own thoughts and dreams and desires. It was important for me to do that in the other side of the wall, escape to Mexico. So that you don't spend a lot of time looking for ECAP Mexico, I want to advise that the town does not exist. My description of ECAP is a compilation of Boquete, Panama, and Oaxaca, Mexico, the places where I have found the most peace. ECAP is peace spelled backwards so that the town of ECAP is any town or city where you can find your peace. This book was finished and translated on the terrace of La Soleil Boutique Hotel, www.lasoli.com, in Oaxaca, Mexico. There, I found both the courage and inspiration to finish a project years in the making. There is something to be said for having an environment conducive to telling a story. The vibrant colors of the terrace provided a visual stimulation that kept me from screaming after I had read and reread my own writing 100 times. The sounds of Mexico offered the kind of background noise that it is likely only someone with ADD can appreciate. All in all, it offered the perfect environment to write my imperfect book. Finally, a note of thanks. Thank you for taking a chance with me. This is far from perfect. Whatever criticism you may have, don't worry about it, I've said it to myself. Ultimately, I am the only one who could tell this story, so here we are. Without further ado, I invite you to continue listening and join me on a journey of three women as they find their peace in ECAP, Mexico. The Other Side of the Wall is an odyssey of self-discovery through the eyes of three women from three generations who decide to emigrate to Mexico. The story explores the emotions that simultaneously unites and separates us, while offering a real-life peek into the everyday challenges of permanent relocation. Step into the captivating world of Jade, Zoey, and Lynn, where ambition and business ventures intertwine with legal predicaments, extortion plots, battles against addiction, and mental health challenges. Join them as they bravely forge ahead and experience their transformative journey of finding love, integrating into new communities, connecting with their spirituality, and embracing the bittersweet realities of aging in this tale of the great Mexican escape.